Hi guys, it's Wednesday and Poland closing schools, cinemas, museums in fight against coronavirus. Today it's been announced by the Polish government that it was closing schools, universities, nurseries, cinemas, theatres and museums as the country steps up efforts to prevent the spread of the coronavirus. After a meeting of a government crisis management team, Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki told a news conference that schools and universities would be closed for 2 weeks from Monday. We have 25, probably 26 registered cases of the coronavirus in Poland, Morawiecki said, adding, "We want to slow the possibility of the coronavirus from spreading." The decision to close schools came a day after Morawiecki announced that all large public gatherings would be banned from the country. Polish President Andrzej Duda on Tuesday evening appealed in a television address for people not to panic, but to act responsibly amid the coronavirus outbreak. Under special rules that came into force in Poland at the start of this month, people suffering from or suspected to have an infectious disease can be ordered to undergo treatment in hospitals. Under the new measures, employers can instruct employees to work from home in an effort to prevent the spread of the virus. The first case of coronavirus infection was reported in Poland last Wednesday. The new SARS-CoV-2 coronavirus, which causes a disease known as COVID-19, was first reported in Wuhan, China, and it's now spread to at least 115 countries. So that's what's happening today here in Poland. And they are going to be closing a lot of the places where people meet together in large numbers. And my question to you is, should they be closing other places as well? And the big question, of course, is in Poland there are many churches where a lot of the more vulnerable residents or population meet together. And do you think possibly that the churches should be closed as a precaution against the coronavirus? What is your opinion on that? I'd be very interested in writing below. I was myself, as you know, last week put myself in isolation. I didn't have the virus, but I was coughing a bit. And I decided to do my own research on this. And what surprised me was, well, what didn't surprise me, but maybe horrified me, was the state of what they call the wet markets in Wuhan, China. Now, if you speak English, you can go onto YouTube and watch videos from American TV, Canadian TV, New Zealand TV, Australia TV, all over the world. So you get a pretty good picture of what's happening, and I prefer dealing with the facts rather than the myths or what the guy in the pub said. And my research has shown, what I did personally, that the virus probably, they suggested, started with bats. And I was quite curious to know, how did the virus get from bats to humans? And in China, they catch bats with big nets outside the caves, like fishermen go fishing in the sea. Well, they do the same with bats. And they take them to Wuhan market, that's one of them, or many of the wet markets where they actually slaughter them for people. And in the process of slaughtering them, of course, there's no hygiene rules, they don't wear gloves, there's no disinfectant. And it's not surprising that the virus from the bats, I mean, most animals carry a virus, but generally the viruses are contained within that species of animal or other animals. But generally these animals don't live together in nature. We humans bring all these animals together, which makes it a time bomb for what's happening today. And the virus obviously was an overspill onto humans. Now, the suggestion was it went from the bat to the pangolin, which is a kind of a shell-shaped animal that curls up into a ball, which is traded in these markets illegally. It's an endangered species. And from there, it could have got onto humans because it's used for medicine, eating, and trade. So this kind of thing was just waiting to happen. if you want to have a look more about this kind of what's happening with this kind of thing, go onto YouTube and check the Wuhan markets, and you'll see the amount of blood and the fact that animals are stacked one on top of each other in cages. So whatever comes out of one animal goes down to other animals, and you'll see that all these animals together that do not normally, they don't normally mix together. In nature, animals separate themselves from others, and we humans bring them together. And because of that, this virus came about. So I recommend, if you want to learn more about this coronavirus, that that you go onto YouTube and check things like that. So I'm interested in your opinion. I notice in England at the moment they haven't closed the schools. I was watching an interview with Boris Johnson yesterday, and I don't know what your opinion is. With the country that you're in, what's happening over there. So, but in Poland today, the government announced that there will be many closures, and the kids will have to stay at home. They won't be allowed to walk around the streets. So, do you think this is a good precaution? Is it an overreaction? Sometimes we say, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. That means that obviously if you don't close the schools and the virus comes, then you get criticised. If you close the schools, it doesn't come, you get criticised. I'm interested in your opinion. What do you think? I noticed that some people where I live, they are taking the virus very seriously. They are washing hands. We're not shaking hands anymore with students. We're doing the traditional elbow shake if we have to do something, and being aware about contact with, touching their face and things. Others are more kind of blasé about it and don't seem to think it's a serious threat to the people in this town or the area. As you know from my previous video, the hospital in Struda has become a coronavirus hospital, and it's shut down and only used for people who are suspected of having that. So if you've got anything to say about what's happening in Poland, if you've heard some stories, do you think the Polish government is still ready? Do you think there's still a problem with supplying of masks for doctors, the other equipment, the suits? I've read certain stories on the internet. I don't know. What do you think? I know in England also there's been some problems. I've heard stories on BBC Radio where people have phoned hospitals and the response hasn't been quite as we would like or expect it to be. So do you have any stories, anything you thought's happened? Are you happy with the way it's going here in Poland? At the moment, for me, I just think that there should be more education about it. I was very surprised that my kids told me now they have soap at school and toilet paper, which they didn't have before. That's kind of worrying. Maybe it's a kind of wake-up call, and that they're now teaching the kids to wash their hands thoroughly. I don't know. What do you think about that? Do you have any experience on that? So this is just an update of the video. My name is Peter Dow. I'm living in Poland. I'm just reporting what's on the news and reporting what's happening around me. And if you have any opinions about what I'm saying, I'd really appreciate your comments below. If you like this video, and if you like me doing this kind of thing, please let me know. I'm always interested in feedback from people who watch my videos. And I'll be posting another one, I guess, in the next week as the news progresses. Thank you very much for watching. Whatever you do, be healthy, stay calm, wash your hands, restrict contact, and just pass on the message. Have a good day. Thank you. Bye-bye.